So here's what just went down that has everyone talking. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert just made some comments about Caitlin Clark that have fans doing double takes. Are the league's decision makers completely missing the boat on their hottest new talent? Let's dive into why these remarks are stirring up so much controversy and what this could mean for where women's basketball is headed. And get this, Engelbert actually said Clark's impact caught her off guard. Seriously, we're talking about the rookie who's been shattering every record in sight. This gap between what everyone else is witnessing and what the commissioner is putting out there has people buzzing, and trust me, it's not the good kind of buzz. You're probably curious about what goes down when league leadership isn't on the same page as their hottest breakout star. Well, buckle up because it might signal some massive shifts heading to women's basketball. We're looking at potential upheavals that could flip the entire sport upside down. But hold on, because there's another twist coming. If the WNBA can't capitalize on Clark's magnetism, someone else is ready to pounce. There's a fresh contender lurking that's making the WNBA seriously nervous. What might this spell out for Clark and where the league goes from here? Keep watching, because we're diving deep into all of this and way more. Let's crunch some numbers because Caitlin Clark's statistics are absolutely mind-blowing. This first-year player isn't just creating ripples. She's unleashing a complete tidal wave across the WNBA, and it's got even Commissioner Engelbert playing catch-up. Clark's dominating the floor like a veteran all-star, putting up 16.3 points per game alongside 6 assists and 4.9 rebounds through her opening 13 contests. But here's what's really wild. We're not looking at decent rookie production here. We're seeing genuine all-star level performance. Don't forget, this is someone who just stepped out of the college ranks and is performing like she's owned this stage for years. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, she's talented, but is she actually transforming the entire landscape? Well, get ready to have your mind completely blown by these attendance figures. We're seeing massive crowds of 19,103 and 20,033 people packing arenas to catch the Indiana Fever in action. Take a moment to process that reality. These aren't championship contests or marquee all-star showcases. These are standard regular season matchups for a franchise that's been fighting through tough times lately. But that's just scratching the surface because Clark's pulling in completely fresh eyeballs to the WNBA. Even Engelbert had to acknowledge this, saying she clearly draws in viewers we haven't reached before, which is fantastic. Talk about the most massive understatement we've heard all year. That's like claiming the sun is somewhat warm. You'd assume with all this incredible momentum the WNBA would be fully committing to the Clark phenomenon. But this is where everything gets really strange. It looks like they're still scrambling to understand how to harness Clark's incredible star appeal. This goes way beyond just putting her image on some marketing materials. We're dealing with a once-in-a-generation talent who comes with a ready-made army of supporters prepared to track her every single move. Consider this angle: Clark isn't merely a basketball player anymore. She's become her own empire. She's got the talent, the magnetic personality, and the devoted following that most professional athletes can only fantasize about. The WNBA is sitting on an incredible chance to leverage all of that to build compelling narratives, intense rivalries, and unforgettable moments that could mesmerize not just current supporters but draw in an entirely fresh wave of viewers. But here's the situation. Whether the WNBA completely grasps it or not, Clark's influence is already driving some major transformations. Remember all those ongoing complaints about players being stuck in coach seats, squeezed into middle spots just like everyone else? Well, Clark's star magnetism just helped secure a massive $50 million investment in charter flights, spanning the next 2 years. That's absolutely right, Clark hasn't even wrapped up her rookie campaign, and she's already helping tackle one of the league's most persistent operational nightmares. It's like she stepped through the door, highlighted a problem that's been sitting there ignored for ages, and suddenly everyone's rushing to address it. So what does this entire situation signal for the WNBA is heading? Well, that's where everything becomes truly fascinating. Clark isn't just revolutionizing what happens during games. She's completely restructuring the whole foundation of women's professional basketball. She's demonstrating that genuine star power can pack arenas, spike television ratings, and even force through significant organizational changes. Now let's address the massive issue that's been brewing on the court. Caitlin Clark's been creating headlines. But it's not solely because of her incredible talent level. She's been absorbing some brutal punishment during games, and we're definitely not referring to the heat from Indiana's climate. You're probably asking yourself, what's the real issue here? Isn't physical play just part of basketball's DNA? Well, Clark herself made some shocking statements. explaining that she feels like she's getting absolutely pounded out there. That's hardly the reception you'd anticipate for the most celebrated rookie the WNBA has ever seen. But this is where everything becomes truly fascinating. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's reaction. It's essentially a casual dismissal paired with a tough love message about joining the professional ranks. She's framing it as something new supporters need to get used to, calling it an adjustment period. Clark's already collected 3 technical fouls across just 10 games. That's not adapting to a new environment. That's auditioning for a combat sport. Now you might be wondering, is Clark simply unable to handle the intensity? Wait a minute. This situation extends far beyond one player struggling with physical play. This is really about the game's future direction. The WNBA is sitting on an incredible opportunity with Clark's star appeal. But are they completely botching this chance? Let's examine the details. Clark isn't your typical first-year player. She's a transformational talent who's packing arenas with record-shattering crowds. We're seeing over 20,000 supporters showing up specifically to watch her perform. That's reaching NBA attendance levels, people. So when she's getting beaten up during games, this isn't just her personal challenge. This becomes the entire league's headache. But there's another layer to this story. The Fever's head coach, Christy Sides, isn't keeping quiet about these incidents. She's been submitting video evidence of these aggressive plays to league officials quicker than Clark can nail a deep three-pointer. And here's the surprising part. The league's actually responding. They upgraded a foul committed against Clark by Chicago Sky's Kennedy Carter, changing it to a flagrant one. That's progress, but does it go far enough? Here's the reality. The WNBA faces a critical decision point. They've got the most talented, biggest, most physical athletes on the planet, just like Engelbert mentioned. But they've also attracted a fresh wave of supporters who are tuning in to witness spectacular plays, not wrestling exhibition. How do they maintain the game's physical intensity while properly showcasing their star performers? It's like attempting to thread a needle during an earthquake. The league must discover a method to safeguard its stars without diluting the competitive fire that dedicated fans absolutely love. It's a precarious balancing act, and currently it seems like they're losing their footing. But here's the exciting possibility. This whole controversy might spark some genuine transformation. Picture a WNBA where the physicality remains intact, but it gets channeled into explosive plays and defensive showcases instead of just body contact. A league where superstars like Clark can flourish without feeling like they're constantly in a street fight. That's the type of basketball that could elevate the WNBA to unprecedented levels. We're envisioning a game that maintains its toughness while adding more finesse. A playing style that highlights these players' incredible athletic ability and skills without turning every trip to the basket into a demolition contest. And let's keep it real. That's exactly what supporters want to witness. They're flooding arenas to watch Clark display her wizardry, not to see her getting roughed up. If the WNBA can discover this perfect balance, they might just unlock a completely new rear of mainstream appeal. So what comes next? The decision rests with the WNBA. They've demonstrated willingness to examine officiating more closely, but that's merely the opening move. Will they grab this moment to advance the game forward, or will they maintain their current approach and risk risking away the very stars who are filling seats? You're probably asking yourself, what could possibly create more disruption in the WNBA than Caitlin Clark's explosive entrance? Well, hold on to your hat, because there's a fresh challenger emerging, and we're not talking about just another rookie prospect. We're looking at an entirely new league that's positioned to completely revolutionize women's professional basketball. Meet the Unrivaled Basketball League. This isn't some fantasy concept or poorly planned venture. This represents a legitimate, upcoming competition founded by actual WNBA players. And here's the part that's grabbing everyone's focus. They're making promises about something that has the whole basketball world paying attention. Significantly higher compensation packages. We're not discussing pocket change here. The Unrivaled Basketball League is targeting the highest average player salaries in women's professional sports history. Now, why should this matter so much to the WNBA? Consider the bigger picture. For decades, WNBA athletes have been forced to compete internationally during their off-seasons, simply to pay their bills. It's been an ongoing battle for fair compensation and proper recognition. And suddenly, here arrives a league declaring, "We'll compensate you appropriately right here on American soil." But the story gets even more compelling. Remember Caitlin Clark, that rookie phenomenon we've been discussing? Well, rumors are swirling about her potentially making the jump to this new league if the WNBA doesn't get its act together. Can you wrap your head around what that would represent? If Clark, carrying all her star power and enormous fan following, chose to abandon ship for the unrivaled basketball league, it could completely change everything. We're discussing a player who's already smashing viewership records and creating sellout crowds. Her involvement alone might provide this startup league exactly the momentum it needs to become a real threat. But this extends beyond just Clark. How the WNBA manages her situation and other emerging superstars could determine the entire future of women's basketball. If they can't maintain their premier talent satisfaction, what's stopping other players from following Clark's potential lead? Think through this scenario. If the WNBA loses Clark along with other marquee names to this new competition, we might witness a dramatic transformation in women's basketball's landscape. The WNBA has dominated this space for so long, but serious competition could reshape everything. Now you might be thinking, wouldn't competition hurt the WNBA? But here's the intriguing angle. This battle between leagues might actually benefit players and supporters. How's that possible? Well, first off, competition typically sparks innovation. If the WNBA must fight for talent, they might finally tackle some of those persistent issues players have been raising for years: better paychecks, enhanced working environments, increased marketing support, and media exposure. All of these improvements could become reality once the WNBA feels pressure from a competing league. And for supporters, more basketball action, increased excitement, and potentially better access to their favorite athletes. Everyone wins in this scenario. But let's stay realistic here. The WNBA still has opportunities to reverse course. They control the established brand recognition, the historical legacy, and let's face it, they currently have Caitlin Clark under contract. The next move belongs to them. How they respond to this pressure might decide whether we're witnessing the beginning of a new chapter in women's basketball or just a temporary distraction. One thing's absolutely certain: the coming months will be absolutely critical. Will the WNBA rise to the occasion and implement the necessary changes to satisfy their stars, or will we see a mass departure of talent toward this new, potentially more profitable league? And what about Clark's decision? She's secured that massive Nike deal, which means she has real choices available. She doesn't need to accept anything less than her true value. Will she remain with the WNBA and work to improve the league from the inside, or will she transform into the flagship star of this new challenger organization?